All right, this is day 2 of will the DF3 make it into the bag. If you haven't watched day 1, link below. I think I'm starting to understand it. I think I'm starting to understand the lab effect. So last night, after I made the video of day 1, went home, and I putt on my mat at home for about an hour and a half. And I think I figured something out. Then today, unfortunately, it absolutely poured here. So I spent basically all day at home putting on this mat, and I dragged my mat around to different parts of my house because I have different breaks on different parts of my floor. Right to left, left to right, you name it. Went all the way through. Think I found my setup position. Ball a little more forward, eye line very much over the ball, and I started to feel a rhythm. Rain died down here at about 4:30, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sneak out and just hop onto a green and see if I can get a bunch of putts in. This was the most successful I have been using a zero torque style putter ever. And the lab putter specifically, this is the most comfortable I've ever felt with a lab putter on a green. I started to get a feel for it. The short putts now feel automatic. I had to adjust my aim actually, and that was part of kind of the thing I was working on last night, is I realized I aim for hooking my putts a little bit, which makes sense because my Cleveland putter had a ton of toe hang and stuff like that. So one was adjusting my start lines and how I aim. And then 2 was, being able to commit to the new kind of straight back, straight through with the ball a little more forward. And I started draining consistently. I took some footage here while I was practicing, just over and over and over. And then I did a lag putt test where I dropped the balls far over the green, lagged everything up within gimme range. So that very, very encouraging for day 2. It's starting to feel very comfortable in my hands, more comfortable than the Spider feels when I go back to it. There were a lot of times when I was working on the mat last night and even earlier today where I would go back to the Spider and be like, no, this is just better. Now I'm starting to go back to the Spider and I go, no, there's something wrong here. I can feel it moving. I'm starting to, I guess, maybe acclimatize myself to the feeling of the lack of torque. And so when I get torque, I'm like, ugh, too much volatility. I can see this becoming an absolute weapon inside 5 feet. I think me lining up the ball with this setup position, I don't see how I can suffer inside 5 feet. So that's really cool. I brought it into the academy quickly because the ground there, the mat that they have for putting is so slick. And I feel like you just can't, there's not a lot of room for messing around on that mat. I really like what the feedback it gives me. And I was just draining everything. And it even felt easier than the Spider felt, just kind of on repeats. I think, when I have to hit 3 putts in a row, sure, I can make the first one, maybe the second one, but it's always the third one where you're like, man, I really got to there's just a sense of pressure when you do these drills. And I find with the lab in particular now that I'm starting to see in my drills, it's the third one, I can give it the same commitment because I'm just not dealing with the volatility, which is what I was hoping for with the use of this technology. This is what I've been hoping for this entire time, is to find this alchemy with the lab because, again, I'm a believer in the tech. There's a reason I keep coming back to this and trying to find a solution, is that I'm a firm believer that this is a competitive advantage. And if you're not using one, I think you might be giving up something to the field. So I'm happy to start seeing that trend over. I'm happy I saw it in the academy because that's a huge litmus test for me. Hopefully tomorrow I can get on the course and try it in a more round setting with some context when I have some putts that matter. That would be really cool. But all in all, very positive. This is the first time I have felt like I'm leaning towards putting it into the bag for real of any lab product I've used. It's just really cool. I feel very comfortable with it. And I was very, very surprised at how repeatable I'm able to make it now once you get comfortable with it. So that's the whole point. Thank you for joining me. This is day 2 of lab putter testing. Will it make it into the bag? We will see. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.